Touhou Lensed Night Sky has a free demo up on Steam. This is a fan-made Touhou Roguelike Danmaku game that's been in development for a few years. The demo has a tutorial level, 3 stages, and achievements. If you were at Touhou Fest, then you might remember this game. Alright, context time. I'm decent at Touhou, and I've gotten normal 1cc's across like 13 different games. I'm also friends with the main developer, so there's no way I can look at this game with no bias. That being said, this game is awesome. Here's why. Lensed Night Sky opens with style in places where many games simply don't have any. You've got different types of dynamic loading screens, this menu with a bunch of wavy options, and a menu theme that sounds incredible. I talked about how Danmaku Kagura's first impression was underwhelming recently. This is comparatively much more exciting. You get the feeling right away that this game has juice. Then the game hits you with something that's pretty rare. A Danmaku tutorial that sets up the story. We learn about a mystery lady who lands in Gensokyo, and get introduced to the game's mechanics. This might seem off-putting at first, but it helps teach the game's plethora of new systems. You've got rechargeable bombs, a spell and graze stat, and one of the main cruxes of the game, shops. Mike runs them, and you get to learn about selling accumulated stats and items, and buying passives, shot types, sidearms, which are like special abilities, and more. The tutorial does a good job easing you in without teaching you everything. It's also a great setup for the game's story. Into the main game, we've got 3 character loadouts: Reimu, Sumireko, and the duo of Chiuri and Yumeni. Each one has benefits and drawbacks a bit detached from standard Touhou. Reimu has a lot of offense from the get-go and plays like traditional Touhou, but can't take advantage of the new mechanics as easily. Sumireko's initial offense is worse than the rest, but she gets a very good orbital that can erase bullets. Chiuri and Yumemi don't start with as many things as everyone else, but they have a sellable object that gives instant credits for the shop, and Yumemi gives more graze. Sumireko is a bit underpowered in this demo, but the other 2 shots feel pretty great. Each character also has a unique intro, and of course, unique dialogue. Character interactions are always really nice. Aeon's games always have a level of confident wit, and that's on full display here. In gameplay, you have randomized stage portions with enemies. These are like Touhou 18.5's, but a bit more interesting. Patterns are more dynamic, and a bit more dense. This is due to one huge change. You have HP. This game isn't a one-hit game. You have 4 hits until you fully lose a life. This design means difficulties have to be rebalanced accordingly. It also leads to some more benefits with the shops. The shops are this game's huge big thing. Unlike Touhou 18 and 18.5, your currency is gained from either selling existing items you have, or collected stat points. Shops appear multiple times per stage. When a shop pops up, it's not automatic. You have to navigate to it through bullets, but getting to a shop clears them all. Then in the shop, you can get things like health restores, new types of bombs, sidearms, shot types, passive benefits like a pill that make all bullets giant, orbitals that add to your shot, and more. You have random selections for shops each time, so each run's different a la other roguelikes. I've had runs with an emphasis on lives, and runs where I just went for a ton of power. There's a lot of different items too. The 5th season from Hidden Star? It's here! Sakia B's wacky shot? Hit it! Want some original items too? A nuclear scattershot passive? Sure. Want some stat boosters like medicine from aiming? Go for it! Want to perfect freeze bullets and dodge them after? That's wild, but you can do it! There's so many wacky and fun items you can experiment with. And since you can sell items in the shop for their buying price, if something doesn't work out, you can just wait until the next shop. The builds get zany like in 18.5, but you get to keep them for a full run. So you've got all your items from the shop, and then you make it to the boss. Here we have another major change: spell card captures. Capturing a spell card requires you to go for graze, and doing so will spawn in health pickups and recharge your spell cards. It's another element of risk and reward, and also makes the game even more different than other Touhou games. From what I've seen, people really like this system since it forces you to engage with the patterns a bit more if you want to go for captures. I think it's cool too, but I'm not good at it. I do appreciate how it uses the new graze stat, which increases your graze box size. Patterns are pretty fun, but there are some hard parts. Doremi has a lot of very intense patterns that are a bit hard to read. It should be noted though that this demo's challenge is upped compared to how it will be in the final game, since there's only currently 3 stages compared to the final game's 7. You've probably heard already, but this game has some very good music. There's a nice mix of original songs and remixes. On's theme is probably my favorite track, with all of its jazzy greatness. Presentation as a whole is very good thanks to a fine level of polish. For example, when you reset a run in stage 1, which I think everyone eventually does for any Touhou game, the stage music doesn't reset. Such a small yet nice change. Another thing I love is that Mike has completely optional dialogue with every character each stage. That doesn't have to be there, but it is. Every game over scenario per stage and boss also has a unique bad ending attached, which goes a long way in replayability. The last things I want to talk about are modifiers and unlockables. The game features modifiers for you to up or lower the challenge as you please. For example, you can start with max stats, or you can make it so you can't pause. There's a lot of these. Modifiers add another layer of replayability and tie into unlockables. Achievements in this game all permanently unlock new items that can appear in the shop, meaning that by progressing, players will get benefits for future runs. This gives a greater incentive to go achievement hunting rather than just trying to complete them for completion's sake. Getting items for achievements is super cool, but the system isn't properly explained. I hope there's something that does explain the system in the final version. The modifiers can also lead to some of the achievements. Even with my completed run, I've still got more achievements to go for and items to find, and that's with 5 hours of playtime. Hey, post-recording Mega here. I have 9.5 hours of playtime now. Like I said at the start, I'm biased because this is a game with a dev team led by one of my friends. But I really did love my time with it, and I'm planning on playing a lot more. After I record this, I'm gonna open up the game for another run. If this game at all sounds interesting to you, please, download the demo on Steam and give it a play. Again, the demo's free, and if you like the demo, please wishlist the game. There's also a link to the Discord for the game in the description if you want to leave feedback or talk about the game with other players. I can't wait for the full version to come out, and I hope I can help introduce this game to new people.